The Mississippi River, August 2nd, 2020. It is a bright, sunny afternoon at the Napoleon Avenue Container Terminal in New Orleans, Louisiana. But hidden inside a cloud formation high above, a massive column of cold air is building, a ticking time bomb hovering right above a 1,000-foot-long container ship. In the span of 12 minutes, conditions quickly deteriorate. Visibility drops to zero. Winds scream at 73 miles per hour, and one by one, the 16 mooring lines begin to snap. This is the story of the container ship Bianca, its mooring lines, and a storm that wasn't supposed to happen. To fully understand this accident, we have to understand the scale. The Bianca is a massive vessel, nearly 1,100 feet long and capable of carrying over 8,500 containers. She is a Neo-Panamax vessel, one of the larger container ship classes and designed to transit the expanded Panama Canal locks. Currently, she is moored in New Orleans and sitting in a strong current. The crew has her secured tight. 16 mooring lines hold her up against the pier. The captain, however, has concerns about the strong current, and as a result, they did not use the automatic tension winches. These winches automatically heave in and pay out line to maintain a set tension. Instead, they pulled the lines tight before cranking down on the band brakes. High above, the deck gantry cranes number 5 and 6 are loading and unloading containers. Over 100 feet above the ground and suspended in a glass cab is an operator in each crane working for Ports America. Their job requires precision, focus, and most of all, fair weather. But they are operating on inaccurate information. The weather forecast for the day predicts a 40% chance of showers and winds topping out at just 5 miles per hour. A random gust is possible, but very unlikely. As a result of this forecast, weather was not mentioned during the safety meeting and prior to the cargo operations. As far as the ship and longshoremen know, it's just another hot and humid day in Louisiana. At 1300 hours, the afternoon shift begins. The crane operators switch out, and during turnover, the outgoing operator tells the new guy in crane number 6, everything is going smoothly. The sun is still shining, but just an hour later, at roughly 1400, the sky changes. The operator in crane 6 notices clouds gathering. He sees rain approaching, but in the maritime world, rain doesn't stop work. Operations continue. What they don't see is the physics changing above them. High in the clouds above, a thunderstorm is collapsing. This is known as a downburst and creates powerful winds that descend from a thunderstorm and then spread out quickly as they hit the ground. Imagine dumping a bucket of water on the floor. The water hits the center and shoots out violently in all directions. That is exactly what the air is doing. In a severe downburst, wind speeds are equivalent to an F1 tornado. At 1350, security cameras catch the first drops of rain. 10 minutes later, the gentle breeze vanishes, and the ship is slammed by a wall of wind gusting 73 miles per hour. The captain later described it as being hit by a tornado. The onset is instant. Visibility is zero. The wind hits the massive side of the Bianca like a sail. The force is immense, and the ship is pushed away from the pier, straining against their lines. And here, a subtle flaw is exposed. The ship is using a mix of mooring lines. Some are nylon, others are dual fiber, and some are polypropylene. They all have similar braking strengths, but critically, the elasticity of each is different. As the line with the most elasticity stretches, the least elastic lines take up more tension than they can handle. One by one, the lines fail. 7 forward lines, 3 aft lines. They part close to the pier and the ship breaks free. The weather onset was so sudden that the gantry cranes are still attached. The wind blows the massive gantry cranes down their tracks. Crane number 5 is lifting a container when it begins moving. As the crane slides, the container smashes into the ship, breaks open, and plunges into the river. Crane number 6 is worse. Its spreader bar gets fouled, impaling a container on the ship's deck. The operator had alarms blaring, the power was automatically shut off, and both operators had to evacuate out of the cab and onto the catwalk with the wind howling. Fortunately, only one operator suffered minor injuries while evacuating. So, how did a modern ship at a modern port break away in a matter of seconds? The NTSB investigation concluded the probable cause was the sudden onset of unforecasted strong winds. The National Weather Service had issued a special statement regarding a thunderstorm nearby, but it didn't explicitly warn of high winds at the terminal. By the time the wind hit, it was too late to react. The crane operators tried to lower their loads, but the power cut out automatically due to the wind speed. They had to evacuate by walking along catwalks in gale force winds. The damage was extensive. $15 million to the cranes and $60,000 to the ship. But fortunately, the lasting scar was only environmental. The container that dropped burst open, spilling millions of nurdles or tiny plastic pellets into the Mississippi River. Irretrievable, according to the port officials. Thankfully, no one was killed. The investigation highlights a critical lesson in mooring. While the Bianca's lines were in good condition, mixing materials with different elasticity means they don't work together. They fail one by one. If you can't share the load, you can't hold the ship. However, there is a hero in this story: the quick thinking and actions of the Bianca's crew. As the line snapped, the crew didn't freeze. They immediately dropped both anchors and fired up the bow thruster and main engines. They transferred engine control to the bridge and fought the wind, holding the ship in position. If they hadn't, the situation could have been much worse. The Bianca could have drifted downriver, colliding with other vessels or infrastructure. The winds died down as quickly as they appeared. By 14:10, just 8 minutes after the breakaway, the storm was over. Tugboats pinned the Bianca to the dock, and she was remoored that evening. One crane operator suffered a minor injury during the evacuation. Everyone else safely walked away, but it was a terrifying reminder of how quickly routine operations can take a turn for the worse. This accident forces us to question our routine operations. In an era of advanced weather radar, do we rely too much on the forecast on our screens instead of the clouds out the window? When you see an approaching storm, at what point do you call all stop? Additionally, it brings to light the concerns of using different types of mooring lines, which is something I had not previously considered. This channel is dedicated to analyzing casualties through the eyes of a current mariner and to ensure these lessons are learned and never repeated. If you want to see more investigations into the hidden dangers of the maritime industry, hit the subscribe button and support the channel. Stay safe out there.